Hello, Renee Flamond here. You guys, to take off right from the last video, we were talking about the withdrawal from a narcissist and how brutal it can be. And when you are feeling that you're in the final breaking away phases, and that's hard to even identify that, okay, it's time, this is the final time. And then it ends up being the final time. You resist the hoover, you're in it. You know it's the final time. You've assessed it, you know it, you're not gonna go back to them. You still have to deal with the withdrawal. And even if you were at the point that I described in the last video, where you know and you feel all those things I told you I felt, you still have to go through the withdrawal. And the reason it can be brutal, first of all, it's usually messy, it's heartbreaking, you're stunned. I'm sure they did something else to stun you, and you're still stunned at the entire path and the direction that it took. You'll never not be stunned. You'll never understand why they did their behavior. You'll never believe that they could have hurt you the way that they did after they told you they felt for you the way that they told you they felt for you. So you'll forever be stunned. You will never understand the creature as a being because you wouldn't do it yourself to somebody, right? The whole thing stinks to high heaven. And coming down off of it, remember, you're addicted now. That's real. So they would, at any point in the relationship, even whether it's in the beginning with love bombing or after a devalue, they could love bomb you again during hoover. They're going to give that love language to you. Those are the endorphins that they're feeding you, that you became addicted to. The dopamine you feel, that, okay? Let me tell you how this is going to unravel. Without the endorphins, you'll feel you need that. You're not getting it right now. You're not seeing somebody else. A lot of people do that. They run out and find somebody else to give them love and shower them with affection. They don't even think about, okay? But you didn't do that. You're wallowing. You're sad. You're broken up. You're not getting anything, any kind of rush like that from that. That's a real loss. It's a chemical thing. Your brain had a feeding of endorphins and dopamine. Any moment that the narcissist would love bomb you, you would get that. Now your well is dry. You've done the breakup, you're here, and you're like, I have no source. Your body starts to panic. Your brain starts to panic. They were so good when they were good to you. That's it. That's the part that keeps you. And you're craving that. It's powerful what they do. Everyone wants to be loved. They come at you in a way that's so dramatic and come on, that's wonderful. It lures you. Calls to you, really. It calls to you. It'd be so easy. You say to yourself, if I call him back, maybe he'll just shower me with words and affectations. I can't make it this time, you decide to yourself. You're not going to make it. And that's how we go back in, right? So I can't make it. Next time I'll make it. I'll not call him back next time, but this time I'm just not ready. I need him. This is the dangerous part. This is the brutal part. It's dangerous, all of it, because that's the danger of you making a phone call to them. Allowing them in for coffee. Even if you're not back together with them, you allow them in your presence. You know they're going to love language you. Or you answer the phone during a hoover and they're still in the love language phase. They're not to name calling yet. And you answer one and they lay it on thick. Make you laugh, call you beautiful. How's my girl? I love you so much. I have so much love to give. I can't believe you don't want to be with me. I want to marry you, don't you understand? I want to put you on a pedestal. That's where you belong. You're so precious. What does all that language do to somebody who's devastated and can't? You're trying to cut the addiction from that. They don't know what they're doing, but they know what they're doing. They don't know the words for it. They know what they're doing. They're luring you back in. The danger gets more and more and more because their behavior has now gotten ill and more ill, right? They've been out in the world doing whatever they're doing. And this period, I don't know how else to say this. And I finally said this to myself, Renee, you have to get through this period. You have to. And that helped me turn the corner. And I never picked up the phone again, and I never took his call again, and I never saw his face again. It took me a long time to get there. I went through all the ups and downs. I answered hoovers. I made a lot of mistakes. But then once I wrote down everything and looked at his qualities and realized, ew, gross. I don't even want that kind of person around me, in my home. Luckily, he was never around my daughter. She met him once, but she was in Australia for 3 years. You guys all know that. So luckily, that wasn't even a thing, but I started to think about it once I looked at his qualities that I wrote down, all these horrible things. I started to say, ew, gross. You want this person to be around people I started to realize, no way. I was like, I don't want this person even around people that I know. I'm embarrassed of this person. You have to stick it out. You can't get weak. If you've made that final decision to leave, the withdrawal is brutal on purpose. It is a chemical addiction to that. And you might say, Renee, it's more than that. The chemical addiction is what's making you feel that way. You're also going to chemically miss adrenaline and cortisol that you get a rush of with every fight, exacerbation, exasperation, every incident, yelling, screaming. That's now all of a sudden you're like this in your house. This was me. It was this house. It was this spot. I was like, listen to how quiet it is. So to go from love language, to this, silence, no one's telling me love language. I don't mean friends and family, but I'm saying if you're talking about your partner, I didn't have that in my life, so it went to silence. And then you're going from screaming to this, silence. It can be daunting for some people. You don't know how to fill it. And I've made videos before on this topic, again, so you can look those up. But fill it with anything you have to. Binge watch these videos until you get your strength back. Binge watch a series. Play music, read the lyrics, get lost in lyrics like you used to when you were younger. Call people, reach out to friends, busy your schedule, pack it with things. Start walking, working out, going out with your family. There's things you can do. Read a book, knit, roller skate. I don't care. But please don't turn to substance. And please don't turn to, they are a substance. Turning back to them is a substance. They're harmful to you. There's an addiction involved. They don't treat you right. Okay? And they don't love. Not like you love. They don't. They love what you can do for them. And they love what they did for you when you would swoon. They love that. They love it. But you're suffering withdrawal because it's hard. Remind yourself your swooning days are over. Remind yourself you know the truth of this person, that you've seen it. Remind yourself that you're worth more than these infractions. Stare at them. Keep them in front of you. That's why the whiteboard worked good for me, because I kept it up in front of me the entire time. I'm pointing over here, but that's the couch, that's my bedroom, and I kind of leaned it up against the wall that I can see even from here. So always in my house, no matter I'm going outside, I see it. Go to the kitchen, come back, I see it. I'm sitting on the couch, I can see it. I'm in my bed, I can see it. And I kept reminding myself, I didn't read it every time. I knew what it said. I could have told you it verbatim. I read it enough. I lived it. But looking at the amount of it and all that black dry erase marker, I thought, oh my God. Do not call him back, Renee. Do not let him back in, Renee. Stay in your space and learn to deal with this alone space. You have to break away. And eventually, I'm telling you what, it happens before you know it. You're not looking at your phone. You're glad he didn't call. You're truly inside hoping that he doesn't. I've had people say to me, where's my hoover? I made a video on that once too, look that up. You secretly kind of even you're wanting the hoover. That could happen. I wasn't expected for those feelings when the hoovering stopped. That's a whole other wave of emotion. I made a video on that once too. I'm just saying there's a lot that you're processing even once you make the decision to leave. And I don't want you to get hit with all this and feel like, well, I just can't make it. I can't make it. I can't make it. I have to call him. And you do. And you get back together. And then there's something else bad. And you kick yourself. Well, if I just stayed with my last no more, I would have been 3 weeks into the no more. And now I just put myself back a month. Yes, you did. You got to get through that withdrawal. No matter how many times you get back or how mean they are to you, that withdrawal is going to happen. You're never just going to walk away gleefully and it's going to be easy. You have to go through the withdrawal just like with drugs or alcohol. You have to go through it. And you could be crying every day. Some people take to the bed for a week. Some people exercise 3 times a day. Some people eat too much. Some people don't eat. Some people binge watch. Some people listen to music. Whatever you have to do to get you through those few weeks, I promise you, there is a point at which it subsides. And you just, it's a feeling. And you're going about your business. Your routine has to fall back into place. You've been otherwise occupied with this person. At first, I was like this. My daughter's in Australia. That ended. It's kind of like the middle to the end to the, not end, but it was like COVID. So I'm not like going to like start going out downtown Orlando. That wasn't really where I was going. I had to sit here. And I did. And you have to let your day and your routine fall back into itself. I was like, okay, what do I like to do? I'm going to fill my day with everything that I like. Right? So that's what you have to do. So when you start to busy yourself with an activity that means something to you, that may give you endorphins, that may give you dopamine, that's why I said exercising, that can do it for some people. And when you challenge your mind and it's occupied and you're not thinking about that, you can get to a point that the withdrawal passes, the brutal part is over, and it might take 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 6 months. It just depends. But once you get through it, you'll be stronger to resist the hoover when it does come, however many you get or how often it happens. Or I've had people say they were hoovered after 10 years. Here comes this cat. Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? If mine ever came back after 10 years, oh my God, what, you're thinking I forgot? That to me means they ran out of options everywhere in the world and they're really trying to dig deep into their well. If somebody hoovers somebody after 10 years. You are hopefully at that point long through this brutal withdrawal. I know some of you are in it because I told, please, it does get better. I don't even think of him. I do this channel, but I don't think of him like in here I'm hurting. No. No. You get to a point where your life is your own and the brutal part stops. Like you think you can't breathe, you can't live without them. I don't care if I never talk or hear that love language from him again. I don't have anyone else in my life that's given that to me. I've learned to exist in my aloneness and have my worth and my place and my value anyway. I'm doing a no other person on purpose kind of period of time in my life because I want to get to that point by myself. I don't want to fill it with other love language from somebody else. Nope, I won't allow myself. Because it's important for me to get myself to the point, finally at age 55, where I really do stand on my own. So if somebody comes in, they can't shake me. I know my worth, right? That's where we want to be. So that the next person can't shake you. And that you don't need love language to thrive. And then I'm less victim to falling victim to a narcissist that's in front of me giving me love language. I'll have the strength to say, oh my God, you got to be kidding me if you think I'm going in that. I just met you. I'm nowhere near where you are. I said that recently to somebody. I said, I am nowhere near. A friend started to, maybe we could be more than, okay. not really a friend, a person I know remotely. Yeah. And I said, I don't even know you. Like, I'm nowhere near that. If I still had a hole in me and I was still craving love language, I might have responded differently and said, oh, that's so nice. Really? Now I'm like, oh my God. I have to get to know somebody for a very long length of time before I ever allow them to come in. And I'm not saying I don't love language. Everyone does. But I'm not going to allow myself to crave it from somebody else ever again. And that's what we did. We're craving it. During that withdrawal time, it's a craving you're getting. And you can get yourself to the other side, build yourself back up to where, sure, it's nice to hear that, but I don't crave it. I don't need it, right? And I'm certainly a happy person without it. I don't miss him ever, or any of the problems that went with it. So now I look back on the withdrawal time and I think, I can't believe it was hard, because I'm so happy and at peace now. I want you to know what's on the other side. People that are going through it right now, please. On the other side, it's glorious. But you got to get through that withdrawal period. There's no way around it. And going back in just prolongs it. Just like, think of drugs, cigarettes, and alcohol. It's the same addiction cycle. You go back in, you just set yourself back. It's like you're going back in to get a little more strength, and next time I'll leave him. No, if you know that you're out and you've gotten here, please don't let the withdrawal period suck you back in. I wanted to mention it. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I'll see you next time.